Trenton 365 with Jacque Howard. Profiling the businesses, organizations, and people that make Trenton better.
Hello, friend, and welcome to the Trenton 365 show. I'm your host, Jacque Howard. You can send me an email, Trenton, like the city, the numbers 365show@gmail.com. You can also follow on Twitter at Trenton365, and the Facebook page is Trenton 365 Show. You can also follow and share your events on the Trenton 365 community calendar page on Facebook as well. You're listening and watching over WIMG 1300 and WPHY, Channel 25, covering Mercer County, New Jersey. You can also follow WIMG over Twitter, and the website as well is WIMG 1300. In the studio with me, if anyone's listened to the program over the years, you will know this handsome educator who I have in the studio, who is one of the representatives of REJS Jazz, which is a jazz promotions company, and that's REJS, which stands for Rich, Eric, John, James, and Jacque, the J's. REJS Jazz, and the website is rejsjazz.com. You can also visit the Facebook page, REJS, REJS Entertainment, and that's on Facebook, and there's also Twitter as well, REJS Jazz. So in the studio with me, and James, or another representative of REJS, comes in on a regular basis during the season of REJS's performances, and we're going to get into the details about why we do it that way, etc. But without any further ado, welcome back to the show. James, how are you today?
I'm cool, Jacque. It's always cool to hang out with you.
Absolutely. And for those of you who get a chance to watch this on the rebroadcast, the television portion, you'll be able to see how dapper James looks. He always surprises me with the gear that he rocks, man, and I'm a little envious. But I can't feel the musculature, but I'm working on it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Sure thing. So James, let's get right into talking about this upcoming show, which is happening on Friday, September 15th at Tavern on the Lake in Hightstown, New Jersey. Who's the performer, and tell us a little bit about her?
Well, our headliner is Trenton, who is one of the world's greatest drummers. If you like drummers, you should definitely get to this show. She just brings so much energy. It's crazy. She's awesome. And not just on the drums, and not just using sticks. She uses the sticks in different ways, and she'll play like bongos on the drums, and she plays other percussion instruments. So she's awesome to watch and listen to.
And her first time performing for us, I believe she was with Shami Royston a couple of years ago at our March women's performance.
Yes, our Women's History Month performance are one of our best events that we've had. She was part of an all-women ensemble, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Now, when she performed, I remember you and I were watching like, wow, this is amazing. Not just because of how talented she is and what she was playing, but also because of her attitude.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of times in performing arts and people who are in the limelight, there's this arrogance, or this like their personality, their persona fills a room. That's not what we got from Shirazette.
Shirazette's very down to earth. She's really cool, and you can see when she performs how focused and into it she is. So it's a joy to watch.
Mm-hmm. Now, she'll be performing with some other musicians, right?
Yes. Let me make sure I have them.
So that's one of the awesome things about technology, is that we can pull up this information like that. And I encourage folks to give some thought to what you're doing with your technology, whether that's your phone, your mobile device, or how you're using the internet. I mean, the manufacturers don't even call them phones, they call them devices. So it's an opportunity for you to connect to the internet and be a global icon, so to speak, if you pay attention to what the different uses are with these mobile devices.
All right, now I know there have been some late cancellations, and I'm not exactly sure who it is, but who was originally listed to perform was a young lady named Arco Sandoval on the piano, a young man who's a very well-known bassist, Nimrod Speaks. And I'm sure most of you who enjoy jazz know this guy's name, Chris McBride, on the saxophone. Corey Wallace on the trombone, Seth Johnson on guitar, and Shayna Small, vocalist. And that's part of her group called Sonic Wallpaper.
Now, it sounds like Shirazette, along with Cheryl Cassidy, EJ Strickland, a lot of the performers that we've had recently, they've got multiple side projects. I mean, they're doing their jazz, they may be doing their standards, or they may have a jazz solo album, but then they've partnered up and they've got another band that's playing some things that are a little bit more non-traditional. Right. Is that what Shirazette is doing with this as well?
It certainly sounds like it by the name of her group, Sonic Wallpaper. I mean, again, we've known Shirazette. She's performed for us a number of times with various other headliners. This will be the first time she's our headliner. But, as you said, she performs, and many of our artists perform with a lot of different groups. And, they can kind of experiment with some of the groups that they're with and just, create different sounds with some of the groups that they're with. They may be a part of 4 or 5 different bands that they perform with on a consistent basis, which is cool.
Now, as a jazz promoter, what is it like to have relationships with so many talented musicians who want to be a part of REJS Jazz?
It's nice. It's very nice. It's nice to kind of have like a Rolodex of artists that we can reach out to, and whatever type of artist or sound that anyone would need, we can make it available for them. So that's something that we're looking to do in the future.
Now, when we talk about the talented artists that have performed and will continue to perform for REJS, a lot of them are coming from New York, the New York area. And we know that New York's a hotbed for talent and for musicians.
Right.
Why do you think so many of them want to travel an hour and change into New Jersey and perform?
Well, I think it's very saturated since there are so many artists looking there to go to kind of one of the meccas of music and jazz. But I think they want to, they want to spread their wings and they just want to perform. But I think they also find opportunity monetarily to get out of the city. And, we obliged by bringing them to Central New Jersey.
Now, when you talk about the monetary rewards or the payments that some of these artists receive, we've had conversations and heard artists say, if I'm going to play at XYZ club or so to speak in New York, I have to sell so many tickets. I've got to bring in so many people. So that's like a double work for them. Right. So when they come and they play in a more suburban setting, not saying that Heightstown, where we are at Tavern on the Lake, is suburbia, but when they come and perform, what has been the sense that they've said to you about, hey, coming and traveling to perform in Heightstown?
Well, they definitely enjoy just getting out, seeing some trees, but I've spoken to a few artists that don't get paid very well in New York, which is a little bit striking. And a lot of times they get kind of put on the back burner, so they're kind of like background music as opposed to performing a show. We want to have a show, and you can have dinner and drinks in the background, but we want our audience to be focused on the show, and we want our performers to have a chance to really perform. So.
Eric Thomas, who is not with us tonight, so shout out to Eric. He's made it clear that the whole idea about REJS was to get this help to continue this music form that's an American music form, jazz, but also to bring it to an audience that may not be as aware of it, or actually give them an opportunity to experience it up front, in a setting that's comfortable for them, a very professional setting, a setting where they're going to experience world-class talent, but also in an environment that's very respectful to the artist. Right. From your perspective, what's the importance behind that?
I think it's key in their evolution as artists. I mean, a lot of these artists that we've had on our stage, that we've been blessed to have grace our stage, are going to be household names. They're not now, but I'm sure a lot of them will be. And just getting opportunity to hone their craft and to get used to performing and being intimate with the crowd, I think is beneficial for them. And it's a great opportunity for our guests to get to know these people before they become huge names.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking about the intimacy of the performance that REJS Entertainment puts on, these jazz shows. I mean, it's been documented in several publications, US One, yes, jazz publications, different websites, etc. We're getting this reputation of a certain level of performance that we put on, including the venue, the ambiance, the level of talent, how the show is structured, etc. How does it make you feel? I mean, and I'll share my thoughts about it.
Well, it's nice. It's like an organic growth. We've been working hard to just try to move forward and create a better and better show, a better environment, bring more and more of a variety of artists, and we take pride in giving these artists opportunities to step up and show what they can do, and we enjoy sharing what we know about them, having heard them, knowing how great they are, being able to share that with Central New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. And for me, it's humbling, but also very rewarding, because literally what REJS Entertainment or the website rejsjazz.com is doing is providing not only an opportunity for world class, and most of the time it's people who have spent a great deal of time outside of the United States performing this music.
Right.
But also to introduce another audience to it. And an audience who seems very excited to be able to see live jazz and to meet these artists and to take pictures with them and get autographs and all those different things. So to me, it's humbling, but it's also rewarding, because I know that we as an organization, REJS, is helping to transition this American art form to a larger audience. And we'll be talking later about the Youth Spotlight and the Rising Stars elements of the performance and upcoming events as well with that. But as again, it's very humbling, and it's also very rewarding. What has been some of the highlights for you regarding REJS Entertainment and the shows that we've put on?
Well, it's really cool to get to know these artists who are so talented on a personal level, but just enjoying the atmosphere that we create with our leader Eric Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Doing much decoration. We turn Tavern on the Lake into a jazz club, and it's a great ambiance, and we have a lot of professionals. We have more and more young people coming in, so it is humbling, mm-hmm, and it is rewarding.
We're just about up on a break, but I do want to stick with what you just said, turning Tavern on the Lake into a jazz club. I do a lot of research, and just like you, probably not as much as you, but we're looking at websites and we're looking at all these different venues, and how does our competition, not only locally but also nationally and internationally, how do they do these shows? I mean, what's the club like, etc. Right. And it never dawned on me until you saying that right now, that we literally turn Tavern on the Lake into a jazz club. And when we get back from the break, I'd like for you to elaborate on that a little bit more. I'm speaking with James Freeman. James is one of the members of REJS Entertainment, REJS, the website, rejsjazz.com. You can also follow on Facebook, REJS Entertainment on Facebook. And we're talking about the forthcoming show, which is happening on Friday night.